how's it going, everyone, today? Today I'm working on some leaves. They're pretty big. They're about the size of my hand. They're for a customer. He wanted them for some decorations for wood carving he's doing. It's actually the same guy I did roses in my rose video. It's the same guy I'm making for, so those four. But here's my blanks. It's just 16 gauge steel. I tried making them out of I think it was, I had it over here. I tried ink forging it out, but it wasn't coming out right. So I just had to end up breaking or cutting them out of steel or sheet steel, to forge them out. And it's a big time saver, but there's a little bit for the forging process at least, but then I gotta go out, weld a stem on the back and stuff like that. So it's saving time and it's not, so this is kind of like the end product here. So he wanted 2 of these sets of 3. Yeah, and I think they turned out really well also. Yeah, I guess let's get into this. So I don't know how well you can see that, but to do all this texturing, and I do that cold before I start forging it. You can do it hot, but then you can get real thin spots and stuff like that. It just looks, I think it looks better when you do cold, and then you can actually kind of see everything, and then you could always rip apart or have it too thin or have some like weird tags that'll forge out. So that's why I just do them cold. So we'll get working on that, and then I'll show you the next step. So, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but that's what we got for the texturing. So, next, what I do is I'll take it over to the vise, and I start at the tip, and then I work back, and I fold it in half. And that's how I get the seam in here. And then back here, that's how I get this ridge, which is kind of like what the stem, I'm not sure what you call it, the vein. So, yep, so we'll work on that next. So hopefully you guys can see all right. No, it took me too long. yeah, it's just kind of working that over. Now that I got it started, I'll start moving back. Well, now that I got my fold started, and yeah, it's a little crooked, but that's fine. I'll give it some character if that turns out. But I can also, when I take it back over to the anvil, I can manipulate it and get it more centered. So it's really just to help me get, bending it in the vise really is just to help me get it started, the bend started, so then I can go over to the anvil and do it. And it's more of a bend aid than anything else. So, all right, we'll head over to the anvil and bend it flat. So, yeah, I see how it's starting to line up a little better now. Oh, it's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be either. So. Oh, and it's kind of a tedious. This is kind of the tedious part because you got to go slow. Oh, and you got to keep heating it because it's thin metal, so it loses its heat quick. So we'll keep going. So, what I did is I crimped. So once I get it all folded over, went back, and you saw me hit all here along the seam. That's to kind of crimp that, and that'll make that hold. You know, if I just left it a little open, it wouldn't look right. It would actually open up and it would be too wide. It doesn't leave that nice sharp seam in the back like you would have if I didn't crimp it. So that's why I do that. And then I also had to leave the bit of my tongs in there. That way I don't have to use a chisel or anything to try and open that back up when I crimp it. Because really I don't need to have this part touching. It's just I need to get this seam crimped. So that's why I do that. But next step is to open it back up, and we'll do that. I'll have to put you over on the forge because that's where I do all that. I just use tongs for it. So we'll get this opened up. So I'm not sure how well you guys are seeing this, so. Well, now that I got it opened up, I'm going to take it over to the anvil and lay this flat down like this and hit up on top of the seam. That way it'll open it up a little bit better. So that'll be the next step. Got it crimped a little bit more. I might need to use my pliers to pull that part out a little bit, so we'll see if I can't get that opened up a little more. She really didn't want to open up, so we'll just leave her. Gives it a little bit more character, I suppose. Here I'm just kind of trying to round out so it doesn't have so many flat spots. I use just a ball peen hammer, kind of as a fuller, so I don't know if that's the technical term, but anyways, just trying to give it some character. Here, I'm going to call that good. Next I'm going to put some more life into the edges, and then we'll give her a more three-dimensional shape. So that'll be in the next step. So I'm just using a pair of scrolling tongs. Yes, they are just some modified needle nose pliers, but just kind of forging it out, kind of like, you know, what I do for a rose. You can go back and kind of see how I do that in my last blacksmithing video. Oh, so just kind of giving the edge some life, you know, kind of like a fall look or something. And you know, it's fall right up. Or it's just got some character to it. You know, just some flat 2D shape. That doesn't look good. That's all I'm doing. Usually when I'm pulling it apart, the side that I have my scrolling tongs on usually gets that. So I really only have to focus on the side that I have my flat bit tongs on. I don't know, I should put my head mount on, but kinda got a deadline, so I really don't waste any time. Don't really have to. And yeah, I say that looks alright. So, next we'll go and give it kind of a, not a shape like this. I make them all different. And so we'll just give it some life. So yeah, that's the next step. Well, It's as simple as that. I got this one done. I don't know how well you can see. But I'm going to brush the scale off, and then I'm going to start on the next one, but I won't show you that. I'll get that one done, and then I'll show you, welding the stems on and stuff and getting it welded together. So I'll work on the next one, and we'll see you guys in a bit. So what you just saw me do was I'm welding in a scarf here, and that'll be where I weld on the stems. So next it's getting those ready, and by forging out a tip to weld onto that as kind of a transition. See, they'll just kind of get welded on like that, and then once they're welded on, then I can actually, it's strong enough to where I can even manipulate it or even do it cold or hot. So I'm not 100% sure if my camera's lens will get screwed up if I videotape me welding, so I'm not going to do that. But I'll show you once I get all these welded up. This step's pretty simple. Just kind of texturing the rod. So. I got all three of them done and textured, so next step is to weld them together. Got them both done, cleaned up and clear coated. I'm loving how these turned out. I think they turned out really nice. So yeah, I guess we will call this it for this video, and we will see you all next time.